About the way things went tonight?
Oh, absolutely amazing. Definitely the biggest win of my career. Leading up to this, I knew this was the biggest fight of my career. It's Robert Whittaker. The man hasn't lost to anybody else than the champion almost a decade. But I said it. This is not going to see the third round. TKO in the second happened that way because, I just know my fighting style. And I guess this answers all the nose questions.
You were very respectful of him coming into this fight. You knew how great he was. He did have some success early on, and then you see his momentum, towards the end of round one. I guess, how did things play out, and was anything surprising to you in there?
No, not at all, especially in the beginning of the fight. I said it. I can't go and fight Robert Whittaker like I fought Brad Tavares. He is too good and too calculated. I needed to figure out his timing, and I think the game plan, my coach, Monet Fischer, he is obviously a guru at this. He is the man who put this all together, coming out and fighting southpaw against a guy like Whittaker. I always do switch stance, but to go and learn a complete new style for this guy, and it just worked perfectly. But, in that first half of the first round, I was almost checking to see, okay, how fast is he? How hard does he hit? And he hits hard and he hits fast. But it was just getting that timing, seeing, okay. But it was still going forward and putting pressure on. That was the plan, and that's what I executed. Much easier said than done when you're fighting and standing in front of Robert Whittaker throwing these big shots. But at the end of the day, I progressed and I made the pressure forward. And I could see in his eyes when he realized this guy's not slowing down and this guy's not going away.
So amazing victory, and they leave no doubt that you're getting the title shot next, bringing Israel Adesanya into the cage. I guess, what did you make of that, of him being brought in and you guys having that face-off? What did you make of the whole situation?
Yeah, the only thing I made of that was it's usually the contender that goes into the cage, right? So, even he sees me as the champion already, so he better knows I'm the champion. And now that he's seen me in that cage, he knows what a force I am in there. He could feel the energy, and I could feel how insignificant he is to me when we get into that cage.
Last thing for me, Dana was here earlier. He said he's not going to bother you about when you can fight, give you a little time, but everybody knows we're looking for a main event in Sydney. Is 9 weeks even a possibility, or is that unrealistic to ask you to be ready for a title fight in that kind of time?
What I say is Dana White obviously knows fighters, and he has the respect to know that tonight's all about celebrating myself and obviously celebrating the legend of Robert Whittaker.
Dricus right here. It seemed like coming into this fight, a lot of people were counting you out, not giving you your respect, and it seemed like Robert Whittaker was maybe the person who was giving you the most respect in terms of what you're capable of. Do you think now the people appreciate what you're able to do in there and give you your recognition?
Yeah, Robert Whittaker, like I said, smart guy, and a true warrior, a true martial artist who knows that martial arts, you are as good as your opponent makes you look. And him being the warrior that he is, he came out here tonight prepared like always, and he was in great shape. But he could see what a lot of people fail to see, and that is a style that people are used to. People are used to certain styles. They don't know our style. They don't know how we put this whole thing together. And he saw that, and that's why he said, I'm the most dangerous opponent he's ever faced. That's why he said, one mistake he made is he thought, I don't have anything to lose. And I didn't fight like somebody who doesn't have anything to lose. I fought like somebody who has everything to lose. And every time I step in there, I have my life to lose. And I will protect that with everything. I have my family name, the Du Plessis name to protect when I step in there. I have the South African flag to protect when I step in there. I have Team CIT behind me that I represent when I step in there. I have absolutely everything to lose when I step in there, and I hope everybody saw that tonight.
And whether you fight Izzy in Sydney or at a later date, it seems like, given the things that have been said in the past, what was said in the cage, this could be a very kind of divisive and controversial build-up a little bit. How are you preparing yourself for that? Are you wanting to step away from it? What do you think the build is going to be like?
You saw tonight, I'm prepared. I'm prepared for everything. Everything he says, anything he's behaving like a clown in there. That's not how a champion behaves. That's not how a man behaves. He's behaving like a child. Conduct yourself like a champion. There's people looking up to you and you're behaving like that. Nah, You know, if that sells tickets, good for him. I'll sell tickets my way. I'm a gentleman. I'm a man. And I'll behave like a man.
When you do get in the octagon with him, how do you think this fight goes? How do you beat him?
I'll knock him out just like I did tonight. You know, if not, we saw his fight with Alex Pereira. If I get him to the floor, it is not even a fight. It's not even a fight. If I just get my hands on him, it's not even a fight. I will manhandle him. I've done it before and I'll do it again. And, you know, as far as the striking goes, let's take that out of the question. You are as good as your last performance. What did his last performance look like against Whittaker? Yeah, he beat him. It was a close fight. What did my last performance against Whittaker look like? So right now, that's how I plan on beating him. The same way I beat Whittaker tonight, by implementing the game plan and sticking to my style and doing what we do best. Listening to my coaches, listening to the great Mornay Visser, the great teammates I have at CIT, a small gym in South Africa, coming up with game plans with this awkward style, this style that looks completely wrong to so many people. I'm the #1 contender in the world right now, so it's time to put some respect on that.
Dricus over here. Congrats on the win. Very impressive performance.
Thanks,
you obviously had the surgery as well, sort of leading into this. How much different did you feel in there? Because you looked really awesome just from the get-go.
Oh, thank you. I felt incredible. You know, I don't want to speak on the fact too much before the fight because, you know, that's a kind of pressure that is a little bit out of somebody's control, I feel, to handle, because I can look at my fights previously and I know, I'm like, yeah, my opponents are tired too. Look, they are tired too, but I look at the fights and I'm like, for the amount of work, and I know for the amount of work that I'm putting in, I'm not supposed to be this tired. I'm not supposed to be this tired, and this made such a difference. I felt incredible out there tonight. I didn't feel a little bit tired. I felt great. And the pace wasn't low. It was a great pace, and I could see my opponent slowing down when I was just starting to get going. I could see in his eyes, in his body language, everything that I needed to, and I felt invincible in there, and it felt great. It made all the difference in the world.
And Cameron Simon winning earlier on the card, I know it was the case on the last event as well. How much does that help you going into the fight? Just like, you know, it's like a team mentality sort of going on this card with him winning impressively. How much did that give you like a little bit of a boost going into that fight?
Absolutely, and of course the mighty Springboks beating the Aussies, the Wallabies in the rugby. It was 47-12. What an obliteration! And that was the first inspiration I got. That was the first little boost I got. You know, my countrymen can do it, I can do it. And then obviously Cameron coming in and putting up a masterful performance, because this guy is the future champion. It doesn't take a genius to see that. And you know, I'm so proud of him, and we are incredibly proud to represent the flag, the South African flag, and come over here and put up these performances once again as a duo and as a team. And it made the absolute world.
And last one for me, just kind of looking ahead a little bit here. If they do end up making you and Izzy, do you think Sean Strickland would be a rightful backup in that situation if something happened?
Yeah, maybe.
Congratulations on the victory. To touch on it once again, obviously Robert Whittaker is a guy who's been at a very high level for a long time. What are some of the openings that you saw in the cage that you could explain for us when we watched that tape back of his performance?
Like I said before, there's not a lot of openings to see real quick, you know, with Rob. But one thing was, I was big against Rob tonight. I could feel it when we were in the grappling exchange, in the wrestling exchange. I was strong. I could feel I was a lot stronger than him physically. But he's fast, and his footwork is so good. Like, he makes you miss all the time. And until I figured that out, he just has a very, like, his movements are the same constantly. And I brought in a lot of karate guys for this camp. We did. And it worked so well because I figured out that movement. I figured out but he does it so well. What he does really good is he's in the pocket, and as soon as you go for him, he's out of the pocket. He just moves backwards, but laterally and he doesn't move side to side. He just moves backwards and forwards, and he does it really quick. So, you know, it took me, that's the first half of the fight, the first half of the first round, it took me to figure that out. But then I saw, cool, his hands are low, but he's not blocking a body kick, and I started landing. And I realized his left hook was really hard, but he wasn't the signature 1-2 head kick that he does so well. I was super prepared for that. He threw 2 of them, and it wasn't as strong as I thought, to be honest. It wasn't, I don't know if it didn't land flush, but I blocked both, and I felt a lot more comfortable moving to the open side. But at the end of the day, it was about being patient and being composed, which I felt I did a lot better tonight than ever before.
Dricus? When you talk about your career, you've had in the UFC, you've been part of some really big events, and slowly, keep moving up the ranks, moving up the card and everything. And now with this biggest victory in your career, how do you even put into words that whole journey? Because you've been on big events, but it feels like you really took center stage tonight.
Well, thank you. When you're fighting a future Hall of Famer, and a guy, if you're in the pound-for-pound rankings and not even having a belt, that has to say something. And like Whittaker tonight was the fan favorite, and he was the betting favorite by far, and rightfully so. I stick by that. And I said it before this fight. This is where I take that torch. This is where I become the favorite. This is where I become the guy who doesn't lose. And it was a massive honor to share the cage with him tonight, and to do myself, my family, my team, and my people proud, and go out here and the UFC. They Dana, Hunter, Mick, all these guys that are giving us these opportunities. It's amazing. They made this fight, and a lot of people were criticizing them for making this fight. They just said, this is this dumb fight to make the easy fight. And this is the fight we wanted to have. This is the fight when they asked us if we would take this fight, I was excited, because I knew this is what's going to happen tonight. I knew we were going to steal the show, and we did. Because you have 2 incredible warriors going out there and leaving everything on the line in there, and it was amazing.
Cameron finally got a victory, no fouls. Can we finally get him to talk golf?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll see. Let's go have some beers first.
Dricus, is it safe to say fixed nose Dricus is a mythical fighter now?
Hated that question leading up to the fight. Absolutely love it now, and yes.
Dricus back here. So it's been nearly 5 years since you've lost a fight. Confidence-wise, where are you at, and how does that feel knowing that it's been that long since you've suffered a defeat?
It's interesting. I don't think about losing, and I haven't looked at that. This now that you've mentioned it, it's the first time. Looking back at my losses, they've all been extremely good to me. Every loss that, the 2 losses that I've had, one of them I was extremely young, and I didn't deserve to win that fight. And the last loss I had at welterweight 170, wasn't for that loss I would have been in the UFC right now as a 170 fighter where I don't belong. And that was one of the best things to ever happen to me. So, I feel as a fighter you have to some stage in your career feel loss, feel what it feels like to lose, to really appreciate that win. And now I felt it. No need to feel any more losses now.